Have you ever felt like a fraud? Even though there's evidence of your success still present, you have all the reasons, all the signs are present in your life to tell you, listen, you belong here, but there's still a little voice inside of your head. No, you don't belong here. No, you just got lucky. I promise you, you are not the only person that goes through this. Imposter syndrome is the persistent inability to believe that your success is deserved despite evidence to the contrary. It's feeling like a fraud waiting to be exposed. Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that affects many of us, imposter syndrome. It's a thing that you just go through no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, you can just feel like, I don't belong. I've been through that many times. I've had many friends, I've been in many environments, and I'm like, wait, should I be here? You just have to brush it off of your shoulders. You know, even though you may constantly worry about being found out or being exposed as a fluke, you are not the only person. I'm telling you, studies have shown that almost 70% of people experience imposter syndrome within their lifetime. It comes in waves and it comes in stages, but you just have to, that voice that's inside of your head, you just have to turn it off. You know, just put the volume down all the way to 0. You know, the station can still be turned on, the song can still be playing, but you don't have to listen to it. It's just background noise that you don't pay attention to. Don't allow that to foster and come to the foreground where it's overtaken your life and now you're not engaging in things that you want to engage in, or you're not having experiences that's made for your life, and you miss out on opportunities that may be for you because you're standing in your way. I have been there before. When I was younger, there have been moments in my life where I felt like, is it okay that I'm here right now? I questioned whether I was good enough or if I was worthy of being in certain spaces.
I just got lucky, or they must have made a mistake.
That's not the case. Your achievements are not due to lack. External factors are not driving components. You are who you are because of you, because of the effort that you put in to your life. Understand, you were made for whatever you're in. This is your life. You know what you want to do. You know what brings you fulfillment. And when you do that, it's hard to call yourself an imposter, because how can you be an imposter in a place that you create? It just doesn't work like that. It's not a one size fit all, okay? There's different manifestations that can blossom in various ways. There's different nuances of the overarching theme. In my personal life, I had to understand what exactly is imposter syndrome. When I had these moments of feeling like I didn't belong, I truly didn't understand it because it started as something minute, and again, it was just like a voice in my head. But then as the voice got a little bit louder and louder, I was like, okay, well, now it's time to deal with this. Now it's time to actually say, there's a problem. What's the solution? Personally, in my life, I moved to a foreign country, being a child from New York, now going to a child who's moving outside of the United States. My mind was fucking blown. I was like, where are the things that I like? At the time, I loved McDonald's. They didn't have McDonald's. It was just also foreign to me. The people spoke differently than me. School was different. They wore fucking jean shorts. Now that I'm older, I appreciate jean shorts. But at that time, I was like, why the fuck are you wearing jean shorts? Like, what is going on? But anyways, it was a different experience. The culture was different. The way that they expressed themselves was different. School was different. I hated going to school there, you know, in a sense. I still have some pretty awesome friends that I still speak to this day. I love you, probably to the day I die. But overall, the experience sucked. You know, grateful for it, thankful for it. It definitely opened my mind up and showed me that there's a world outside of America. I don't think I was ready for that cultural shock at such a young age. It did make me question who I was and the type of friends who I wanted in my life. That's something that I had to, like, you know, do some rework in there. Now that I'm older, I could look back on it, you know, lessons that I've learned to help me become who I am. There are so many different ways that you can face imposter syndrome. For example, we have the perfectionists. They have to excel in every aspect of their lives. They typically set high standards and are extremely overcritical in regard to self. They fear making mistakes, feeling as if they will be exposed as a fraud or incapable of existing within said realm. I have this one friend, right? When she was younger, like teenage years, 18 or so, she wanted everything to go her way. She was a straight A student in school. She was very focused and she felt as if I need to control every experience so I can receive the output that I want. And then she went to college. Now being an adult, there are so many unforeseen circumstances that happen. She figured out nobody's perfect. If I make a mistake, I'm young. This is a lesson that I can learn. I don't understand individuals who think that they're not going to make mistakes in their life. And then I also don't understand someone who's on the opposite end. When you see someone make a mistake in their life and then you hold it over them as if that's not what this game is about. This game is literally about making mistakes so then you can implement the solution and tell other people the solution so people don't make that same mistake. Do you think that we would have certain things in this world if it wasn't for the mistakes of the past? That's not how the world works, but okay. Next, we have the expert. They must know everything about their field of expression before considering themselves competent. Degrees, certifications, or other qualifications are often acquired, even though they may already know the knowledge within said field. So, let's see. Do I think there's a problem with being the expert? Absolutely not, because knowledge is power. But I definitely think that when you're overconsumed by expression in an intellectual standpoint, that limits you to the other factors of engaging in a conversation. Because sometimes not every conversation is logical. And if you feel like,
Well, I'm an expert. I took psychology and I'm gonna.
you don't, dude, relax. Just sit down. Just have a conversation without using your psych degree. And then also, I feel like you're gonna overwork yourself. I mean, if you wanna go ahead and get your master's, get your PhD, if you wanna get your doctorates, and do it. But then I feel like if you're doing it from a standpoint of only,
I need to know everything.
you're not a fucking robot. You do not know everything. You will never know everything. The faster you get that, the more pleasurable your life will be. The soloist. Prefer to work alone, typically feeling uncomfortable asking for help or collaborating with others. They have to figure everything out on their own and do not seek assistance. Working alone allows them to avoid the looming fear of being perceived as incapable. If you're an individual who's introverted, you may lean towards being a soloist. There's nothing wrong with that, but why do you want to work alone? Do you want to work alone because you feel like that's where your power lies? Or do you want to work alone because you feel like it's a weakness of yours to collaborate with other people? There are times where I want to be by myself. I want to take this time to think my own thoughts. But if you are fearful of collaborating with others or asking for help, then that's where the issue can come into play. So just do some introspection and learn about yourself and understand the why behind your actions. And once you do that, your life is just going to be a little bit better, and that's what we want in the end, right? So next we have Superman or Superwoman syndrome. An individual who feels the need to excel in every aspect of their life and take on numerous responsibilities, often pushing themselves to the point of burnout in an attempt to prove their worth and competence, despite their outward success. On the inside, they have a constant feeling they may be exposed as a fraud, leading them to become overwhelmed and exhausted. This can be challenging because no amount of external validation can cure the self-doubt. If you're not going to give it 100%, don't do it at all. But to expect your outcome is going to be correct every time, there's but so much you can do before life actually starts to take a play and then do its own thing. You have your own dance, but the rhythm to the beat may not always be the song that you play. Once you understand that, you'll become more comfortable with working within your circumstances, understanding whatever you're dealt, it's your duty and it's your job to make the most of it. If you're an individual who's experienced early experiences within your family or your friends of criticism or hate, this may lead to a manifestation of self-doubt. You may feel like you're no longer worthy because that's words that you've been told throughout your childhood, throughout your adulthood, and you carry that baggage and you carry that weight with you. Take the time to reprogram your mind to a point where you have built back up your mental. You no longer need the validation from other people. You have self-love and the external love that you get from other people. That's like the cherry on top, but that's not the entire cake. You have the other ingredients for the cake, so you can fucking eat your cake and enjoy it too. The feeling of being an outsider or the feeling of not belonging can be broken. I promise you that is not something you have to carry with you throughout your entire life. You just have to become self-aware in regard to making the shift. And when you do that, you'll go from being the imposter to being the main character. You are the main character of your life. This is your life. You create your life. You live your life. You're not living this life for no other individual. The lack of positive reinforcement or recognition of achievement should not bound you to a life of feeling unworthy. And if it does, talk to yourself, talk to family, talk to your friends, go talk to a mentor, maybe seek therapy. Do some internal work so you can then see the results in your external life. I promise you, yes, I'm gonna say this to you almost every fucking day. This is your life. You create your life. There is not another person that can tell you your worth. You are valuable because you deem yourself valuable. That's a fact. There are so many people who don't receive the love. They're constantly torn down and ridiculed and made to feel as if they're insignificant. Discrimination and marginalization is a real thing. There are so many people who are told they're unworthy. They mean nothing. Their life is not even worth $1. Fuck that. Fuck what people have to say. You don't need no one's approval. You know the videos where you get that stamp of approval? This is your hand. The stamp is here. And you stamp what you deem approved. Like it's simple. You decide where you want to go. You decide how you want to spend your time, your energy, and your money. If I walk into an establishment and I feel as if, oh, you don't belong here, I'm taking myself and I'm leaving. I don't need to be here. I could go get coffee from somewhere else. I could go get dinner from somewhere else. I'm not giving you my money. What? I'm leaving. I'm gone. The same thing you're doing, somebody else is doing, and they're gonna do it better because my experience is gonna be better. Don't subject yourself to any form of suppression. What? If I feel like I'm suppressed, this is not the place for me. If someone is invalidating your feelings or invalidating your experience, that is not the place for you. That is not the people who you need to be around. If someone does not love me, I don't hate them. I just understand I no longer incorporate you into my existence. Done with the questioning, done with the needing answers. I don't fucking need answers from you. I'm not complicating my life for another person. I'm not even allowing myself to complicate my life for me. If I start overthinking something and I start get to the work, nope, I'm gonna go breathe. I'm gonna go feel the air. Like I don't have time for that. To get a little bit more specific, the high expectations, the discrimination, the marginalization, this can come from family and this can also come from work. It sucks to be put in a position where you feel like you're not being heard. When you're in places that heightens your levels of stress or you feel like there's a pressure to perform, there's so much that that's weighing on you. There's so much that's coming at you. How do you handle it? Some people don't know how to handle it. There are moments in time where I don't know how to handle it. And my thoughts and my beliefs starts to shift, and it's like a beam scale. And when so much is stacked on one end of the scale, it just weighs down on you. Do not allow another to force an output that is not conducive to your level. Understand your limitations and work within that scope. And if someone wants to push you outside of that scope, don't do it. Yes, sometimes it's good to be uncomfortable. It's good to be pushed to your max. It's good to go beyond your limit. Understand where you're going to reach a breaking point. Once you cross a certain line, once you push your mind a little too far, you can come back from it, but why do you want to do that extra work? Why do you want to give yourself that extra work? Just don't do it, friend. My friend, just don't do it. A common trigger for imposter syndrome is the tendency to constantly compare ourselves to other people. And where do we do this most? Social media. It's the beacon of comparison, and it can all compile, it all comes together. The not receiving love, the needing validation, the high expectations. We need to remember social media platforms present curated versions of someone's life. We go on social media to showcase our achievements, speak of our accomplishments, literally talk about our success and share our highlights. There's literally sections on, those highlights. Yep. This is my most pleasurable experience and I want you to see it. And I want you to see how good I'm doing in my life. That's not 24/7. It's not reality. It's not a full display of someone's life. Like, when I get on here, I have to look in the mirror and pump myself up. I brush my teeth. I took a shower. I have to get ready. I have to smell good. If I just woke up and started recording the video, What do you think that? No, there's not a problem with wanting to display yourself a certain way on social media, but we have to understand and we have to realize that I'm using a camera right now and I'm looking through a lens. And when I look through the lens on the other side of the screen, I'm telling you how I want you to view my experience. I get to choose when I click record, I get to choose what I say. This goes for anyone who uses social media. I'm pretty sure there was some foreplanning or there was some thought put into that post. And if you say that it wasn't, you're a fucking liar. Stop lying. When we constantly compare ourselves to these versions of life, these seamless portrayals of reality, because that's what it is. It's like,
Oh, I woke up and I look like this.
Oh, I just had this thought.
which I'm not saying that can't happen. That is the case for some, but for most, it's not. But when we do this, we are basically telling ourselves we're inadequate and we feel inferior. We go online, we're scrolling and we're like, well, look at this person. They have the body that I want to have, or this person has the voice that I want to have, or they look how I want to look. Love yourself, accept yourself, understand your story. You're not reading someone else's book, you're writing your own, and the sooner that you get that, the more pleasurable your life will be. If you don't take anything from me, just take that. The more that you come into yourself, the easier that will become. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes time, little increments. If you don't feel the greatest today, I like the shirt I'm wearing. If you don't feel happy with the words you just said, I'm happy that I put myself in that position to express myself. If you don't feel happy with the job that you have, I'm happy that I have a job. There's so many things to be thankful for. Be grateful and have gratitude in your life, and then it will just begin to become a part of your person, and then you will begin to celebrate the smallest of things. I celebrate waking up. I celebrate being able to walk to my bathroom and use the bathroom. I celebrate being able to eat my food. You need to be grateful and you need to have gratitude, and then you will begin to just see how your world transforms, and then it will become a part of your person. And then the work that you have to put in and the time that you have to put in to attach yourself to that mindset, it will be like 1, 2, 3, you know? Easy count, easy peasy, lemon fucking squeezy. Your achievements and your experiences, they are valid and they are meaningful. There are so many people who feel invalidated. There are so many people who feel like their life means nothing, you know? People literally, you don't want to get to that place where you feel like life isn't worth living because you feel as if you are unworthy. You are worthy. Again, 70% of people have the same experience at least once in their life. You are not the only one. When you hear that inner critic, you need to challenge it by listing all of your accomplishments. Literally, when you understand the small things are important as well, it changes everything. You understand, like, what's a big goal? What's a big goal? Think about it right now. Big goal to you is what? I'm gonna stop you because a big goal to you may be small to someone else, and your small goal may be big to someone else. Perspective. Do not look through the lens of somebody else. You go through the world how you want to go through the world, and then you don't feel like an imposter because you're not trying to be somebody else. You're just living this life as you, for you. And I say all the time, like, it's that simple, and it's complex, but it's also simple. It's complex. Some people do need reassurance, and it's also great to hear you're doing a great job, or you look amazing today, or you're putting in hard work. That feels good, but it should not be needed. It should not be something that fuels you to take the action. I say it all the time. It's okay to make mistakes. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of life. If you don't make mistakes, how do you learn? How do you mitigate solutions? How do you understand anything? Like, you need the analytics, you need the data, you need to be able to take this into account when you're moving into your next venture. The only way you can do that, in my book, is by implementing the solution, seeing if it works or not. If it doesn't work, man, I messed up. I thought wrong, but it's okay because now I've learned something within this experience. And now for my next experience, I understand how to gauge. I know how to maneuver. All you need to do is set achievable goals and celebrate your progress along the way. Enjoy the journey. Take a breather. Let's take a breather. Adopt a growth mindset. See challenges as opportunities to learn, and this will help you grow, and this will help you develop as a person on a mental level, on a spiritual level, and on a physical level. Challenges do not have to be threats to your competence. They can be experiences that help you become the person you need to be. Incorporate daily affirmations into your life. People think it's like full of shit, but it helps me. It helps me feel confident. It helps me like I'm doing what I need to do and not fucking stress out. Tell yourself, I'm capable. I'm grateful for all I give and receive from the world. Overcoming imposter syndrome start with acknowledging your feelings, challenging negative thoughts, seeking support, practicing self-compassion, and recognizing your unique worth. Embrace your worth and strive towards greatness, my friend. On that note, I'm just gonna leave you with a quote that I thoroughly enjoy. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.